on, and it is late night here. And listen, we have a blog. Our podcast grew out of a blog, and a blog is about the term Jagoff, because we want to make sure we're taking care of Pittsburghers who we're covering ourselves and pointing out the ones who aren't being good.
It's under an umbrella, right? So we are term of endearment, of course, but once in a while we got to call out the Jags. So John, you did a great job this week because you were driving to my house, which means this happened in Ross Township. I'm busting Ross Townshipians because it's not good.
Right, and it's my history to be protective of kids like this as far as my previous work. And there was a car driving down the road that swerves, and I won't tell you which road.
You know it.
Go look at you see the picture on the screen if you're watching the video. And there is a kid, probably about 6 or 8 years old, hanging out from waist up, hanging out like they're on the roller coaster at Kennywood with his hands hanging out, trying to swipe at the cars going the opposite way.
Did you see how many Yinzers were like, that ain't good?
That ain't good, Yinz.
Buckle your kid in.
Put your kid down there in the car.
So it was a really good shot, though. I can't believe you got it.
I am the Jagoff, though, because I took one hand off the wheel to take the picture. So
you said it. Littering Jags from Reddit. Tell me about this.
So, Monica and Rachel have been trying to teach me how to use Reddit. And anyways, on Reddit, I found someone did an estate sale in Squirrel Hill, and there was a long line, I guess, waiting to get in for hours. And the people that were waiting in line left their cups, their coffee cups, soda cups, pop cups, whatever it is, all along this neighbor's wall and just left it all there. That's a Jag move.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So clean up. Your mom doesn't live here.
Yeah.
Clean up after yourself, you Jagoffs.
All right, there you go. Speaking of a term of endearment, Jag, our quarterly guest from RAD, James Santelli, is here. But before we jump over and talk to him, I just want to tell you we have so many events that are happening in September. The one we really want to make sure you check out is Newsapalooza. All of the different media outlets are coming up with great hero stories, and we're going to present some great Pittsburgh pitches with the one and only Sally Wiggin and Rick Seaback, and John and I are emceeing it on September the 27th, and that is through the CMI and the Pittsburgh Media Partnership, so check out all the info on Newsapalooza. How about that, James Santelli? Are you coming to pitch some stories?
Former newsman myself. I guess I do belong.
I knew it. And this is the cool thing is that you'll like this and that it's not just about news people and journalists. They want the citizen journalists to come and hang out and meet with the journalists, almost like an outreach type thing. And citizens know that they can create stories.
Well, we know that there are far more Pittsburgh stories than just what we see on the news. So that sounds really great. Is that Point Park CMI?
It is, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A big story that's happening, and we learned from you, is that RAD, which you'll give the quick explanation for people who don't know, but it is RAD Days, and people look forward to RAD Days, right?
Oh my gosh, every year. I get people in my email saying, when are RAD Days starting? When's the schedule coming out? Well, it's starting right now, starting this weekend. So the elevator speech on RAD is the Regional Asset District. When you pay that extra 1% sales tax in Allegheny County, half of it goes to municipalities all over. The other half is RAD, about $125 million every year generated by the sales tax, about a third of that for libraries, a third for parks and trails, and a third for everything else. More than 100 organizations from museums, arts and culture, stadiums, all over the place. And during September and early October, RAD Days is when all those places say, thank you, taxpayers. Here's a free event for you. Here's a free experience, something to come out and enjoy what we do.
Which is super cool. Some of the places you can use, again, my story has always been the glass place, where I went for free and watched them make glass.
So
I
Pittsburgh,
thought,
the glass place.
This is a snoring thing. And I got there, I couldn't wait to go
Center?
back. The Pittsburgh Glass Center,
That's the one on Penn Avenue in Garfield. And
right
it's exciting this year because Glass Center just finished up their big expansion project, expanding upward on Penn Avenue. So they're holding a big party at not a ribbon cutting, but like a glass smashing, I suppose. And they're welcoming people in for a big open house. So if you haven't been to the Glass Center, or if you have but you haven't seen the addition, that'll be the time to go.
So given that's the story, what have you heard from people yourself or others who said, oh my gosh, I took advantage of this free thing and now I can't believe that's here in Pittsburgh, right?
Well, what's wild is we have more than 70 free events and experiences all told. So there really is something for everyone. But one person in particular last year wrote into us and said, my husband and I went to the symphony for a free concert. We went to the museums for free. We went to these concerts for free. And we just had a whole month of basically being a tourist in our own city. and it didn't cost us anything in ticket price. So that's the biggest thing we want people to know, is there are all these wonderful places that maybe you don't go to visit until, somebody's coming into town and you want to show them around. No, use this time to be a tourist in your own city. This is the opportunity, and you can go to as many as you want, all completely free of charge.
We talk about this a lot. Pittsburghers are procrastinators. And I'm sure anybody who's been in their city for a long amount of time, we all do the same things, but there's always that need. Oh, I've never been to the mattress factory. I've never been to, whatever it might be, insert different places. Now's the opportunity. Don't procrastinate, because you can go do these things.
And even I learn about things and places that I didn't know about until I started at RAD. Contemporary Craft, which moved from the Strip District up into Upper Lawrenceville. They have so many cool, exhibits, things that you can learn. And so they put on an exhibition opening. That's going to be later this month, as well as a community day that's more of family oriented.
Oh, that's cool.
Kids can come, and there's activities for everybody. So it's also a chance for those places, those regional assets, to kind of have a little, gussy up, red up, and say, all right, everybody welcome in and see what we have to offer.
Hashtag gussy up.
Is there a passport type thing that I can print off and say, okay, I want to do these, I'll do a punch list kind of thing, or I just make my own punch list, or a challenge for Yinzers to do against each other?
Like
I like that idea. I like that idea, John. Maybe something we put in for future RAD days.
We'll just call it the John Port then. Okay.
Yeah,
very
we'll call
good.
it the John Adventure. Really, it's make your own adventure. If you go to radworkshere.org, we've got the full schedule of all the events. But if you are looking for something of a pass, there's also Rad Pass, which is separate but also included in all this. The last time I was talking to you guys, it was for Rad Summer Staycation.
Yes.
That was for, going free to the zoo, to the museums, to the mattress factory that you mentioned. That's all on Rad Pass now. So through the month of September, if you got your Allegheny County Library card,
I love this.
You go on to radpass.org. All the opportunities show up for you. You can pick which day you want to go. So instead of there being just one RAD day at the zoo or at the Carnegie Museums or the Science Center, you got to pick the date. You figure out when it's going to be, and it's a much calmer experience. Has been all summer, that people can go on a regular day as opposed to all rushing towards the lions at the zoo on one packed RAD day. So it's been very exciting.
How about that?
Yeah.
So for September, what can we? We are kind of good about planning, but kind of not, because we're already into the first week. So tell us, what can we take advantage of the most in September?
Well, let's see. I'm going to start by saying the Allegheny County parks are doing some really cool things all around in pretty much every county park, and not just the big ones, not just your North Park and South Park, but maybe you haven't been to Harrison Hills Park, or maybe you haven't been down to White Oak Park. So they're doing acoustics concert series.
Oh, wow.
They're doing big stage concerts. They're also having nature walks in some of the parks as well. So if you haven't had a chance to go out and see some of these like little green gems that we have all throughout Allegheny County, those will be going on all throughout the month of September. So I think this is the perfect time of year for that. Temperatures starting to go down, cool off. At the end of September, you see the leaves change a little bit. It's a really great time to enjoy these county parks.
This was around the time that we discovered Tree Pittsburgh. Remember, we didn't even, I had no idea. I'm so embarrassed. I was like, what's Tree Pittsburgh? I know this area, but I did not know. So there you go.
And
see, we all admit things.
Folks at Tree Pittsburgh just applied for RAD funding this week. Don't know yet if
not even a note on my script.
However, we have a couple of 20s in my pocket there, Tree Pittsburgh. I can.
The wheels. I cannot accept this.
James, you do such a good job of telling us, but remind us again, where can everybody go to find out more information so that they know where they need to plan their trips?
Absolutely. It's radworkshere.org/events. Calendar for every day that goes on through RAD days, as well as radpass.org. That's where you can go and book the reservations for places like the museums and the zoo. And also, if you're a fan of your libraries, your local library, go in there, grab a brochure, ask a librarian. You see what's going on maybe in my area, in my community. Also, a quick plug for something that RAD just invested in, new computers at all the libraries in the city and in the county. Some of them are getting a little long in the tooth, but for the employees and for the people who, use the computer at their local library, fresh and new, ready to go, ready for whatever you need.
You're like Santa.
Speaking of fresh and new, did you bring us another junk drawer gift?
You bet I did.
I know. We keep you up for
the
junk
gift
drawer.
that keeps on giving.
So I feel
it's quarterly.
like a little salt and pepper from one of those when you go
out. Yo, salt and pepper's
I
here.
knew you were going to sing it. Yeah.
It is. Salt and pepper is here. It's one of those when you go out to lunch, you get one of those, those fork and knife, the little thing.
Yes.
Those always end up in the drawer.
I love it.
Nice.
All right, question of the day, because it's food related. John decided.
Ooh.
So this was a pretty big hit. do you let your food touch? When you are creating your little palette of food, can the coleslaw touch the whatever? Look at the face.
Fine. I might even make my own concoction of all of it. A little ratatouille action, getting it all together. I think that's great.
I love it. James Santelli, it's always a pleasure to have you. We can't wait until next quarter to find out what you're up to. Thanks for joining us. And next up, we are going to talk a little bit of Pittsburgh Brewing. Stay with us.
Welcome to People's Clean Hydrogen Pilot Program. Here sits no ordinary container. It's a drop-in unit that transforms natural gas into clean, cost-effective hydrogen that could provide you with affordable, safe, and reliable energy with as few emissions as possible, removing carbon and making a product, not a pollutant. So no, it's no ordinary box. It's a powerful decarbonization tool, and just one of the ways Peoples is innovating the future of energy.
I've been thinking that Rohrich Automotive needs a new jingle.
Rohrich Automotive got the best cars around Pittsburgh.
Driving a Rohrich, I bought it at Rohrich. Picked up my new car at Rohrich Automotive. I got friends at Rohrich Automotive where the staff is nice and the dealership's loaded with brand new cars. And you can drive real far.
Mancini's Bakery, 97 years in business and still getting better. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you will see various Pittsburgh personalities like Gretchen McKay, Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes, KDKA's own Mary Hours, and WPXI's Jenna Harner, learning how to make the famous Italian twist bread. Follow Mancini Bakery on Instagram and Facebook, and remember to ask for Mancini's. Oh, yeah. It's John and Rachel. I wasn't sure what song. It sounds a little 90210-y, so I wasn't sure what route we were going. But we are back, and we are talking to one of our friends from Pittsburgh Brewing Company, Rosella. Welcome to Jagoff Late Night.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're happy to have you. And so this is a pretty big deal. The tour manager.
That is me.
That's a big job to have, especially because if anybody remembers, we do the amazing Zachary's Mission Porch Tour series, and you guys graciously gave us a 4-pack of tours for people to come. I am not kidding you. People were more excited to come tour your facility than they were to get beer. I really thought, you know how Yinzers can be. I thought they're going to say, oh, it's a tour. I wanted the beer. No, they were so excited. They booked immediately. So this is a pretty cool job to have.
It is an amazing job to have, and especially growing up in Pittsburgh my whole life, and especially growing up in a family where Icy Light and Iron City was probably drank more than water.
Yeah, right. You say it too eloquently. Iron City.
Yeah, it was this job is almost like a dream come true for me. It's really great.
So let's take a step backward in the fact that anybody that's, the expat Yinzers who still think that Iron City is still in Lawrenceville, it's not. It's in a brand new, unbelievable facility out along 28 in Creighton. Okay.
Russellton, Creighton. Yes.
Yeah.
That exit. Yep.
Boom. Look at me, 28 Rach. Yeah. Go ahead. Go with it, John.
So tell us how long that's been there, and it's a beautiful facility.
Yes, it's fantastic. We've been in production since July of 2022. The building itself was originally PPG glass. It was factory number 1 for all of PPG. That space has been there has been there since the early 1800s. We have about 150,000 square feet in the building itself, and then we're sitting on around 43 acres as well. So It's a really, really great facility.
So what does a tour look like? I mean, obviously we want people to come and actually experience it, but if you could give us sort of a condensed version of what we would expect.
To have the best time ever.
Yeah.
And we start you off with a beer, we finish you off with a beer, and you get to see our amazing facility. I mean, I have never had a single person come through our building and not be utterly amazed. Everything is automated. We're considered one of the highest tech breweries in the East Coast. So you get to see some really, really amazing things. And if you come during the day when we're fully functioning, you get to see the filler, you get to see all of the packaging for all of our products. It is really, really, I even myself find myself like kind of getting dazed staring at all the packages go by. Sure. It's really, really cool.
It is amazing as you watch the bottles go through the conveyor,
conveyors,
and then they get labeled and they get capped and put in boxes. But I think the amazing thing is I was able to see not in action, but the old Lawrenceville facility, right? Because they used to have art all night in that building there. So you kind of get a feel for what the walls are telling you. Then you go to this facility, and it looks like you could do surgery in there. It's so, and like it's just not, you
don't
picture
recommend it for anybody,
forklifts and all this kind of stuff, but they're on they're on tricycles running back and forth along the conveyor belt. It's just not something you'd picture in Pittsburgh.
No, it's beautiful. It's so clean. They're constantly cleaning. They have little Zambonis that they kind of drive around and clean the floors constantly. Yeah, so it's really great.
All right, so there's a question we asked you off camera, but nobody in the crowd seemed to know it. So someday we will have to ask that. But what's one of the crazier questions you get asked? Or do you study up every night, or has anybody ever stumped you and then you go look that one up and you're ready for the next time?
Oh, yes. Okay. I've been doing tours for a little bit over a year now. I think I did the math or something, and it's like almost like 400 to 500 tours I've done. So I get asked so many questions, but there are definitely a ton of questions that I don't know the answer to. And like even today, I had this question and I, was stumped and I said, I don't know. But it was how many miles of pipage go throughout the building. So everything, like I mentioned, is automated. So to get from the fermentation tanks, the product has to get sent over to the filler. It's getting sent from one part of the building to another via pipage. And they said, how many miles of pipage are here? And my answer was just a lot. It's like crazy. But yeah, so many questions. And I mean, there are definitely a lot that I've been asked a million times and, have to answer over and over again. But
how long does a tour take?
About an hour, a little bit over an hour sometimes, depending on how much fun people are having at the tasting afterwards.
Okay. And is this something that you're encouraging people, new people coming into the city to kind of acclimate? Or is this something where you're getting like maybe bachelor parties who are getting prepared, that kind of thing?
I think it's like a really big mix of both.
Okay.
We have a ton of people that are local to the area. A ton of people that are from out that way, and they're just so psyched, to see that building, be brought back to life. So we have a really big mix of people like that. And then what's really fun is those people will maybe have their family come in from out of town, and then they'll come say, oh, I had so much fun on the tour. I'm here again, and I brought, my daughter who lives in Colorado, things like that. Like crazy, especially, now that the football season's coming up, people come into town. We get a ton of people that come in for football games, and then they come and do a tour as well. It's kind of like the perfect weekend.
Yeah.
What's your tourist prompt sentence? And, people always joke about, we're walking, and we're, do you have a tourist phrase, a tour phrase? We say, all right, everybody, let's really just get question. Going. Yeah. Let's just go.
Yeah. I think I kind of like herd people like cattle sometimes.
Okay.
So I'll be like, follow me, everyone. And I kind of like wave and snap. Like adults are pretty hard to control sometimes, especially like I've said, after the samples, people start to like to wander and I have to, hey.
Yeah. I do that on a Tuesday with John. So I'm completely used to how that needs to go.
Yeah.
So how did you get the job? Was this something where you worked for the company, or did you want to do tours? Like, this is a new type of job, right? They didn't have this before.
Yeah, no. I kind of worked in bartending and stuff for a while.
Okay.
I went to Point Park, and I was part of their sports arts and entertainment program.
Okay.
And I graduated during COVID.
Oh.
So most of the companies I was looking to work at were, not hiring because, you couldn't have groups together.
Sure.
So I worked at a bar for a while and then kind of got introduced to this whole world of beer and alcohol. And I just was willing to do anything to kind of get involved, and just kind of clicking online, job after job. And this one just happened to pop up. And I was just part-time for a while. And then seriously, maybe a couple months later, I got promoted to being tour manager.
And people can just do that. I love that Pittsburgh offers
that
something
means like you
that.
drive a bus.
No.
Like the band came to town.
I don't know.
All right. So in the
come up with
meantime,
this?
do you have a junk drawer item for us?
This is the tacky part where we ask you if you brought us a gift.
Mine's also pretty tacky.
I love it.
We love
this
it.
is literally what's in my drawers.
Okay.
A bunch of Iron City stickers.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Watching, you can see we got these. They're actually really super cool. If you're not watching, if you're listening only, then make sure you go watch.
We can give a shameless plug right back because we work with Mancini's, and there's a little partnership going on for some beer buns. Try them today.
They're great.
That sounds like a 1950s
grain for the
commercial.
beer. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. In the meantime, our question of the day.
Well, where can everybody find you, follow you, all that good stuff, so that if they want to book a tour, because again, I think this is something so unique for people to come, just a short ride, right?
Yeah. You just go on pittsburghbrewing.com. There's a tab that has tours, and you click on it, and we have a whole calendar that pops up of all of our availability. We usually do them Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 11, 1, and 3 o'clock.
And it's free?
Oh, it's $15.
Come on, John. Nothing's free.
Well, hey, you know. That's
social media? Is there social media?
Yeah. Pittsburgh Brewing. You just go on Instagram, Facebook, Pittsburgh Brewing. There's also social media under IC Light, Iron City Beer, but Pittsburgh Brewing's where you're going to find all of the tour info.
Notice she says it so well. Iron City. You enunciate that. You don't get
Iron
them to say
City.
iron while they're walking through?
I find myself doing it.
Yeah, we all are Pittsburgh
After
in
the
some
tour.
way.
Yeah.
All right, so John asked this question as a question of the day earlier in the week, and we had quite a few people respond. Can your food touch, or do you have to get one of those little sectional plates?
No, I'm totally cool with it.
Wow, look at this.
Yeah.
It's a complete reversal of
Yeah,
what we saw in live.
Yeah,
And
right.
I think like there's a point like to
It's
what
all
you
going to the
serve,
same.
you know,
Yeah,
like
sure.
you serve this because it goes well with this. So if
Okay.
it touches, I think it's for a
You
reason.
got it.
I
All
love
right.
it. And listen, as I
One-
used to tell my kids, it all goes to the same place, so just suck it up.
That too.
One
Yeah.
more time, the website for tourists.
PittsburghBrewing.com.
There you go. It's Rachel and John.
Welcome to Fernandez. Can I take your orders? You need a tappet? No, we don't use this. We know how to yell the sandwich, the cook. Here we go.
Dig in.
It's John and Rachel. We love to dig into iconic Pittsburgh places like Permanis. So we brought our friends from People's Gas.
Please call at least 3 business days before you dig.
It doesn't matter if it's a big project or something small like a mailbox. Always call before you dig. I called. We can dig in.
So please call 811 3 business days before excavating so you don't have to call 911.
I've been thinking that Rohrich Automotive needs a new jingle.
Rohrich Automotive got the best cars around Pittsburgh.
Driving a Rohrich. I bought it at Rohrich. Picked up my new car at Rohrich Automotive. I got friends at Rohrich Automotive where the staff is nice and the dealership's loaded with brand new cars. And you can drive real far.
All the time he's here. And I read the story that your grandmother and grandfather started the very first Mexican restaurant in Southside. So I love that you're family owned and of course the woman being the patriarch of the family.
Yeah, it truly is. My mom, she's the one who literally started the whole business because she loves cooking and the recipes from her father, Abel, she learned since she was very small. And she's really the one, without my mom, I don't know what we would have done. Because she's really has put down the foundations for everything. And the best part of all was that, you know, my parents are such a couple that they're so powerful together that anything they can do, they put their money into it and we succeed on everything.
It's Rachel and John late night, and one of our favorite guests is back, Gina Masciola from WQED, and this is super cool in that, you know, WQED is an institution in Pittsburgh, in Western Pennsylvania, but also KDKA at this point. So we're kind of like, you know, we're not old enough to be an institution, but we're kind of working. Same as you. We're working with one, but we're not really old enough to be ones, right? Would we agree on that?
We will.
Okay.
We're not old enough to be institutions.
That's right. Or institutionalized at this point, right?
Humbled to be a part of it.
Right.
And we love every time we get to talk to you because we get to know more about the education pieces of QED. You know, when we talk about QED, we talk about all the great programming, we talk about Rick Seaback, but there are also other pieces that are so important, and we love that you bring that to life.
Yeah.
There you go. What's happening in September? Go to it.
Yeah, so we are crazy busy. There's lots of back to school events that our team has been part of. We've just kind of reorganized the education department to create what we're calling learning neighborhoods. And so working in 4 different regions of southwestern Pennsylvania to be very intentional about creating partnerships and supporting all different types of organizations and folks who are interested in really making sure that students are getting what they need.
Well, I think stop right there if you don't mind, because everybody knows of WQED as the TV programming, and then now there's a podcast, and then there's the radio side. But the fact is, they don't know. Maybe everybody doesn't realize there's all this educational infrastructure that you guys have put together, right?
But even for schools, I mean, I found that to be, and maybe because our kids are older, so we were like, oh my gosh, but it goes beyond Arthur. Right?
Right. Yeah.
That's the part that...
Right. What the education team at WQED really does is take the media that's produced by WQED, because I've said since the first day I walked in the door there that everything they create is educational, whether it's on the radio, whether it's FM, or whether it's being broadcast, or it's our YouTube. But everything that we create has some kind of learning opportunity with it. And so taking the amazing content that our producers create locally and what we're offered from the national PBS folks, and also our sister stations from across the whole country. Like, there is an amazing library of content that's available, but what we really do is take all of that content and bring it to life and create engaging, enriching, innovative opportunities for students, children, and families. Like, that's kind of our gig.
Yeah, super cool. And the fact that, like, all of this, again, the infrastructure that's there is influencing Pittsburgh, but influencing others, because we were one of the early adopters of all of this stuff, right? As far as childhood education.
Right, yeah. Fred's legacy.
Yeah.
We're kind of trying to live it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
In the meantime, now you've transitioned to, while those were like 3 camera shoots and big mega things and sets, now you've transitioned to things are streaming and using more social media even. Who would have thought that?
Exactly. And so, I always say what makes WQED different from any other content creating platform, no matter what it is, is us, is our education team. Netflix doesn't have an education team.
Right.
I feel like that is something that's unique, not just to WQED, but to public media, is that we have actual humans that are on the ground creating those engaging opportunities, making sure that we're reaching children and families in a really personalized way.
Well, and I was going to say it's sort of come full circle in a sense, because you guys were in the communities before all these entities were getting into the communities. And now here it is. You hear everybody say, I'm a storyteller, I'm a content creator, I'm getting into the community. But that was the OG way with you guys. So that's what this network, this neighborhood thing is, correct?
So that is, Learning Neighborhoods is really leaning into creating those deep, impactful partnerships in communities and being the connector and the convener of some of that work that's happening. Making sure that the people that are in those neighborhoods are really connected and understand how they can collaborate and work together. Good examples are like backpack walks that we kind of started having. I know I've probably talked about those a couple of other times, but there's lots of different partners passing out backpacks in one community. So one of the things that we're trying to do is create this collaborative unity so that not everybody's handing out a backpack, but everybody collaboratively is working together to create the backpack for the community. So if the library was handing out backpacks and the school was handing out backpacks and the family center was handing out backpacks and the bank was handing out backpacks, we are trying to get everybody on the same page and say, hey, you're all handing out backpacks. Let's hand the backpack out here, hand the highlighters out here, hand the notebooks out here, and have the kids learn about all of the different people who make up our neighborhoods.
And speaking of the kids here, once again, now kids in their 6, 8, 9 years old, they know how to make videos on phones, right? So now, and you're adapting even your own educational system to encourage that or teach them the real skills on how to do that, right?
And we've done that through the WQED Film Academy.
Yeah.
And so we've got infrastructure in place now to help train up those young content creators and instill media literacy and journalism and asking the right interview questions and all those kinds of things. So
See, the OG is still flexible.
OG, what's going on in September that we need to know about?
Yeah, so 3 big things I want to highlight. First one is tomorrow. So we will be with lots of our friends in Washington Park, down in Washington, PA. You can find us at Arts in the Park. And so that will be happening from 11 to 3. It's a totally free, family-friendly event. There'll be about 25 interactive tables with local artists demonstrating,
kid-related?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All really talking about how that connects to their career.
Sure.
And what they like to do and how you can use something you might be passionate about in the future.
Sure.
And so we've got those 25, artists helping and working collaboratively down there to create this amazing event. There'll also be 2 stages. And so there will be 10 really unique performances. We'll say the Pittsburgh Ballet will be one of them. And so opportunities for people outside of Allegheny County to kind of experience some of what our southwestern Pennsylvania has to offer.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, super excited about that. The second thing I'll tell you about quickly, September 25th, we received a grant from Let's Play Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And the Remake Learning Network to create a sensory garden in an urban garden called Firefly Garden, also in Washington, PA. And so
Gina, say it right. Washington. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. My dad would be really disappointed with me. He's always worshiping everything. But so we're doing a lot of deep work in outlying counties, not just in Allegheny.
For someone who may not know, a sensory garden would be?
Yeah, so the sensory garden is there's a palette that has all kinds of thrifted, cool, steel, metal, things that you can clank with. Like there's colanders hanging up there and cups and really cool stuff. And so really focusing in on sound and focusing on that sense. And like there's all kinds of different things they can clank with.
There's the touching.
So there's also there's an area where you can touch all the different flowers and different textures and understand what that is. There's a smelling section. Then there's like, what do you see? And at each point in the garden, there's like engagement questions and things that make you think and like go beyond just what you see and the experience you're having in the garden. And then of course there's a QR code at the end that leads to lots of at-home activities to make those connections.
So that it continues.
Right, so that the learning continues. And a lot of that comes back to WQED and PBS Kids.
So for sensory, I think that's so important because there are so many children who are experiencing the need for different senses to be explored, right? And we don't always pay attention that these people need those types of sensors. It's all good. So, and that is on September the 25th, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And where can everybody find out more so that they can come see what all the programming is, what other events you have, and how they can participate?
So almost every event that we are part of or supporting in some way, you can find on our Facebook page.
That's easy.
So you want to go to WQED Education and follow us on Facebook or Instagram. That those are like the main places where all of our events, you'll be able to find what we're doing.
Nice. Love it.
Cool.
Okay.
Now, did you have a third event you wanted to talk about?
I did. Super quick.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it. You're good.
All right. So
this is our time. This is our time here. We own this thing. You're allowed to do whatever we say, right?
There is.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There is a national conference coming to Pittsburgh in September. It's the National Education Telecommunications Conference.
Okay.
So all the stations from all over the country are converging on Pittsburgh.
That's cool.
And I know, isn't it so cool? specifically their education departments.
Okay.
And so they will be here learning and growing and innovating from each other. And so that's happening at the Omni William Penn.
Wow.
The really cool thing I love about this, and it's so Pittsburgh, right? Remake Learning is having their Remake Learning Assembly, which is like their big deal where they like talk about all the things that have happened and all the things that are coming up. And they have graciously invited all of the NETA attendees to come to the Remake Learning Assembly as well.
Oh, wow.
And kind of learn about how we are innovating learning in Pittsburgh.
That's fantastic.
Cool.
I know.
Yeah.
So
And when is that?
To be number one and first, right?
Right. Always.
The conference starts on the 15th. So Public Media Awards will also be happening here in Pittsburgh at the Heinz History Center on the 15th.
Okay.
And then the 16th, the conference starts. And the 16th in the evening is when the Remake Learning Assembly will be.
We love it.
So, yeah, so they'll be here all week. They're doing a field trip up to the Fred Rogers Institute and the Latrobe Arts Center. So, yeah, exciting.
Nice. Check out QED.
Nice.
That's all that matters.
Now,
all right.
yeah, WQED.org, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So, question of the day is: do you want your food to touch on a plate?
We already know.
No.
We know.
No.
We don't know because if you didn't watch our Facebook page, those listening might not know, right?
No,
So,
but absolutely not.
First one to say
ever.
I knew
okay.
it because she was
Yeah.
passionate, John. Sorry.
Right.
Listen, if I could get one of those divided lunch trays that you used to get
Yeah.
like back in the 70s.
Yeah.
I love those. Yes.
Yes, I would have that for all of my meals. I don't want anything to touch ever. I don't even eat them in like I eat all one thing and then I eat
That's how my
all of the
middle
next
son-
thing.
Yeah. That's
So-
so funny. My middle son won't even have a casserole because we can't have things together.
So
Crazy.
I'm not
You're not a
if
casserole?
it's cooked together,
Yeah, you're fine.
It kind of is okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. There's
I'm
some
okay
rules
with
in
that.
Gina's world.
Yeah. But
All
if
right.
it's not like cooked together,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Did you bring us a junk drawer
did.
gift?
I
Is
know
it
you-
salt and pepper so
You're
I
like, you
can
already
sing
have
again?
10 of them from
It
us.
is not.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
It's
what
another
is this?
QED badge? No.
It's not.
Oh, God, what is
It's my middle son.
I
Oh, my God.
high school Brashear Pittsburgh Public Schools
badge. That is hysterical. Listen, I lost my North Hills one, so this is going to be helpful.
Right.
I'll
You just have to flip it over, going like you own the place. Oh,
I've
yeah,
done
right
that.
there. Yeah.
Real quick fun facts. Whenever my husband and I went to see Bryan Adams, it was the Post-Gazette Pavilion. I was working for the Tribune Review, and I was like, I'd like to get back there, please. My husband said, you've had one too many because that's not even your pavilion. So there you go. That's the stuff I do.
I know. He's 22. Like, why do I still have this in my junk drawer?
Hysterical.
I don't know.
But
And
we
you're
have it
letting us
now.
have it?
We love
That's
it.
awesome.
Gina, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. We love having you as a quarterly guest, and we love knowing what's going on in the QED
Aw,
world.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Next up, we are going to chat with our musicians and check out a couple of 412 do's.
Welcome to People's Clean Hydrogen Pilot Program. Here sits no ordinary container. It's a drop-in unit that transforms natural gas into clean, cost-effective hydrogen that could provide you with affordable, safe, and reliable energy with as few emissions as possible, removing carbon and making a product, not a pollutant. So no, it's no ordinary box. It's a powerful decarbonization tool, and just one of the ways Peoples is innovating the future of energy.
Mancini's Bakery, 97 years in business and still getting better. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you will see various Pittsburgh personalities like Gretchen McKay, Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes, KDKA's own Mary Hours, and WPXI's Jenna Harner, learning how to make the famous Italian twist bread. Follow Mancini Bakery on Instagram and Facebook, and remember to ask for Mancini's.
I really love connecting people, and more importantly, connecting people with the riverfronts and the water here. Here in Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh has such a rich history of industrial use of the rivers, and now we have this unique opportunity to bring the rivers back to people and reopen this kind of riverfront space as just a way for people to get together and really enjoy and improve the quality of living that we have in Pittsburgh, and your health, mental health, physical health, all that good thing, and really build back the economic benefit that the rivers bring today in a new way.
I'm going to go down to 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rachel.
Let's go.
We're sitting
Rachel
here
and John.
calculating time, and Michaela's back there. All right, we don't have a lot of time. We're talking to our musician. We always keep the musicians to last, not because it's the headliner. So Ann and Alex, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So what is the name of your band?
We are Ann Eliza.
I love that.
I love it.
We should have met a year ago, and I'm so embarrassed to say that we've not yet, but everybody in the music industry is talking about you. So tell us a little bit about how you got your start.
We met in another band called The Common Heart. I was
that little band?
Yeah, that little tiny band full of a million people. I was a background singer. Alex was front of house sound, and that's how we met. And
the rest is history.
Yeah, started writing music together.
One of your favorite
that.
places to perform in Pittsburgh?
For me, Club Cafe.
Oh, okay.
really?
I really love Club
That's
Cafe.
a tiny little place, so it's
personal, right?
It's so intimate. It's very listening room like,
that.
you know.
Okay.
It's very nice. Yeah.
How about you, Alex?
Club Cafe is probably
Okay.
one of my
Ditto.
favorites to perform. Yeah.
All right, that's
we
great
know
to hear.
you're going to be singing, but first, the big thing is, do you want to answer our question of the day first? Question of the day?
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right. So, do you guys like your food
I
to
love the
touch, or
suspense.
do you not on a plate?
I don't really think about it unless it's
I
breakfast.
love that she said that because I'm.
Okay.
Breakfast for me is the most important meal. I love breakfast. I try
Okay.
to do like full English most of the time, and I want to eat all of it together.
Okay.
Dip
Okay.
my toast and my eggs,
Got
beans
it.
with my taters. Yeah.
You dippy.
I want it.
Okay,
Yes.
fair.
Same.
Okay.
Alex, you're a samer. I love it.
Earlier, yeah, it's easier that way. No, but earlier I said to her, I don't like if like dessert touches other things, and she thought that it was weird that I would ever have dessert on the same plate as other food.
There
Is
you
that
go.
what
I've never done that.
I got it. All
I
right.
understand. Where can everybody find you and follow you so that they know where you are performing and they can get their own dose of you?
Yes. You can follow us on all social media, Instagram, Facebook. Even our website is Ann Eliza Music, ANNEELIZA Music.
Junk drawer items?
whatever. Junk drawer? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I
We have a
love
group
sharks.
item.
I said a very Pittsburghy junk drawer.
You have a group? What?
I said we have a group item.
Oh, we
Yeah,
have a group.
that's
Okay,
right.
got it. I was
Same.
like,
Like,
well,
you're not
he
Alex,
is.
same.
I'm like, he is
Yeah.
part of a group, as
Exactly.
in like my
Do it.
tattoos. So
Yeah.
this is a little shark,
Baby
like cable
shark
protector.
Oh, okay.
You know, you stick your cable in there,
For
like
those listening,
that is so
it's a
fun.
protector. Yeah, nice.
I thought it was on the top of a pencil.
You guys are awesome.
We can't
man. I
wait
like
to hear your
saying.
song. We're so
Very
excited.
excited.
But first, we're going to go to our 412 dues from Discover the Burgh.
Hi everyone, Jeremy and Angie from Discover the Burgh here, and we are bringing you the 412 do's for the week. Now, Angie, there's a lot of events coming up this weekend.
I keep thinking it's going to slow down, but it hasn't
Oh,
yet.
it's the best time of the year.
It is insane. So
Yeah,
this
what
weekend...
if people want to go to an event this weekend? Where are they going to go?
Yes. So this weekend we have the Irish Festival going on. So that is taking place at Carey Furnace. So that is all weekend long. So there's going to be, well, first of all, it's a ticketed event. So make sure you get your tickets. There's going to be great music, great food, of course, and you have the amazing backdrop of Carey Furnace, which is just, it's stunning for any event, really.
Yeah, but my favorite booth, I think yours too, is the Irish Dog booth. They have, over the course of the weekend, you might get lucky at certain times of the day to see different kinds of Irish dogs. They're very cute, but, you know, Irish food.
It is, I mean, the dogs are the best.
It's one of the biggest heritage festivals in the region, and it's at Carey Furnace, so what more do you want? If you want a different kind of event this weekend, Real Abilities is going on downtown at the Playhouse, and possibly some other locations. They are, it's a film festival featuring people with disabilities, telling different kinds of stories there. There's a virtual element as well, so you can either attend in person this weekend or buy a virtual pass to watch it through, I believe, the 11th. So there's a lot of ways to check out that film festival, which is also a lot of fun as well. Now, Angie, if people want to go out to eat, what's new?
All right, so we're super excited about this one. So Braddock Public House is opening in Braddock. So this is a new venture by the folks behind Brew Gentlemen, the brewery also in Braddock. So it's just down the street from their old tap room. So we're really excited because of course they're going to have their amazing beer on tap, as well as, you know, spirits and cocktails and things like that. But they're also going to have, you know, it's a restaurant, so they're going to have food. We're really interested to see what the food shapes out to be. Right now, it's looking like the menu is going to have a lot of interesting things like Pittsburgh mashups of, you know, traditional things like pierogies and other sandwiches and stuff like that, but also with like a kind of Asian
Japanese Hawaiian
leaning.
hybrid flair. So
Yeah.
there's gyoza and pierogies, spam
Face
dish and kielbasa. Yeah, it's kind of all over. I wouldn't say all over the place, but like
It's like the Pittsburgh version of something, and then like a Japanese or like Asian version.
So you can make reservations for that. I believe they also accept walk-ins. We have our reservations, so be sure to check our social media once we get there to share more. But if you also love ice cream, news this week is that Dave and Andy's is reopening in Oakland. They closed a few months ago, but their opening day is slated to be tomorrow. So we're pretty excited about that. But we also expect there to be a crazy line, so we might wait a few days for that one to, open back up for us.
It's the perfect time of year for ice cream.
It
Like
is.
the weather looks like it's gonna be great.
Yeah, if you're gonna wait for it, now's the time for Dave and Andy's. And then also next Friday is your last chance to take in Pirates fireworks for the year. So we love our fireworks at PNC Park. It's
all Pittsburghers, it's mandatory.
yeah,
Gotta love
mandatory.
fireworks.
So you got one last chance to watch the fireworks this year at PNC Park. Otherwise, we'll be waiting until light up night. So that's it for us this week for the 412 Dudes. You can find us at discovertheburgh.com and on social media at discovertheburgh. And if that's too hard, just Google Pittsburgh blog. We'll probably come up. We'll see you soon.
Hi, we're Aunt Eliza, and this is our song called Stay With Me.
Tell me I'm wrong to think you don't wanna run from me, 'cause you say things you don't mean to my face, and I believe them. Stay with me for a while. It's not far on my mouth. If there's a chance you could ever be free, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Tell me not to speak, say things I really mean, 'cause you're gone before I can get a word in anyway. Stay with me for a while. It's not far on my mouth. If there's a chance you could ever be free, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Give me a chance to be someone you won't walk away from. I'm telling you honestly, I won't run, 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 run. Stay with me for a while. It's not far on my mouth. If there's a chance you could ever be free, stay with me, stay with me. Stay with me for a while. It's not far on my mouth. If there's a chance you could ever be free, stay with me, stay with me.
God, that was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. You Jagoff Late Night. We're super stoked because we had some great guests today. Make sure you are following them. And thanks to the musicians. Yeah. Have a good weekend.
Cool.
Awesome. You guys, that was fantastic.
That was great.
Thank you for having us. That was a perfect base. So, wow. That was great. Thank you, guys.